I love crimes and I want crimes to happen. Big fan of crimes happening. We're going to talk about teen mob ransacks retailers across major cities. Brick and mortar retailers are going after expensive commercial real estate markets once again, in a story as old as time itself. But of course, in an effort to hide the real reasons as to why they are closing up shop is because mass theft is occurring. Now, of course, absolutely zero people are like, oh man, I love theft. It's so sick. Okay, maybe some people say that, but nobody is like, oh, theft is great. It's poggers. So obviously, the real ways to stop theft from happening is by making people's material conditions better. Now, of course, we're not going to do that, obviously. So what will we do instead? Nothing. We'll just listen to the billionaires and millionaires and corporations that claim that retail theft is out of control, and that's precisely the reason why they're closing up shop. And please, it's not because of the real estate market. It's just theft. Theft is the reason. It's actually because we placed these Walgreenses and Targets in every fucking corner of the country out of the kindness of our hearts. And look what you made me do. Now I have to close up shop in Seattle and in New York and in all of these expensive real estate markets. I'm doing it because too much theft is happening. That's the real reason. Obviously, that is not the real reason, but that is the reason why, once again, CEOs are saying it's a big problem. But yeah, let's get to our daily sponsored reactionary propaganda. Isn't it also they're getting creamed by online retailers? Whoa, what? Delivery services and online retailers are absolutely eviscerating the brick and mortar retail side of even like basic groceries? How dare you say such a thing? No, it's the theft. It's the shrink. It's the shrinkage. It's well, not even shrink. This is organized retail theft, which is different.
Coast to coast, and without a doubt,
I can't stop.
Be one of the topics of great interest, particularly when you look at the fact, why are so many stores closing these days? Maybe it's the fact that there has been so much retail loss. According to the National Federation of Retailers, nationwide retail thefts have, as you can see, in 2022, they reached $112 billion. We're 3/4 of the way through 2023. You've got to figure that number is bigger, particularly after scenes like what we saw.
Went from 90 to 112 billion. Retail theft isn't actually increasing much, major industry study found. The effect of theft on retail's bottom lines is largely in line with what it has been in the past years, according to a key National Retail Federation study. The very same study you look at on Fox News, and they utilize as though it is the most damaging thing that has ever happened. How the fuck does that work? The findings come as the industry is increasingly saying crime is cutting into profits. So the trade publications, or rather like the internal communications in the industry, is the exact opposite of what Fox News is presenting it as, because the external communications is that this broke me. I know you're just reading the fucking description, but it's so stupid, dude. The National Retail Federation, the world's largest retail trade association, passionately advocates for the people, policies, and ideas that help retail thrive. I love passionately advocating for the people, policies, and ideas that help retail thrive, chatter. Total retail shrink grew to more than $112 billion in 2022, up from 93.9 the year before. According to the National Retail Security Survey, the metric, which accounts for various types of inventory loss, including theft, damage, and vendor error, generally rises as retail sales climb. Now, what's really interesting about this side is that the actual shrink is at $112 billion, which of course includes vendor error and damages. This does not mean that the $112 billion, as Fox is presenting, was lost due to teenagers fucking stealing, okay? A lot of that is damages. I'm sorry, you are a fucking psychopath. I hate this argument all the fucking time. We have it so much. We have it all the time, and everybody yells at me and says, Hasan, you love crimes and you want crimes to happen to Walgreens. You are a big fan of crimes happening to Walgreens. My dad is, I'm Mr. Walgreen, and Walgreens is my store. It's my dad's store. I'm John Walgreen. You are a crimer, sir. And it's sad because this is the reality. I don't know why people fucking defend this shit as soon as they see it in the media. Well, I guess I kind of know why people defend it, because it reinforces oftentimes white supremacist attitudes and biases that people have. So I guess that's part of the reason why people defend it and support it. Not that it fucking matters, because the corporations themselves don't care about it. Walgreens' CFO literally came out and said, "My bad. We were lying. We exaggerated and cried too much about retail theft. Maybe it's not the crisis that we portrayed it to be." Because the real reasons as to why certain retail stores close up is not because of organized retail theft, but oftentimes due to too much competition in an area where the real estate prices do not justify having 11 fucking stores in the same neighborhood. Okay? Didn't wage theft exceed retail theft last year? Retail theft has never touched wage theft. While retailers and the NRF are increasingly saying crime is cutting into profits, losses from internal and external theft last year were largely on par with historical trends. It made up 65% of total shrink, the survey found. Remember, $112 billion, the number goes up not because there's more theft. The number goes up because there's more retail. So that's the number one factor that you need to consider. Retail goes up, and of course, theft and shrink goes up alongside it. Shrink, however, is not specifically theft. There's external theft, internal employee theft, there's process and control errors, unknown issues, other losses that account for 1.32%. But obviously, process and control errors and like damage in transit makes up for 27%. And external theft, including organized retail crime, is sitting at 36%. Now, this kind of external theft is not just people setting up shop and like stealing because they have all of their cars ready outside. That's not external theft. It's literally you not paying for the fucking Kit Kat that you got at self-checkout, okay? So just understand that you are participating in the shrink. Many of you, not you in here, but many of those fucking dumb cocksucking motherfuckers who talk about like black people are stealing, are the very same kleptocrats, or not kleptocrats, kleptomaniacs that fucking love stealing like a bag of Skittles from their local store, which also factors into the shrink. Now, I don't have an issue with it. I don't do it myself. I got my ass beat when I was younger, but it's so fucking disingenuous to act like this is new and unique. It's not. It's factored into the profit margins. Oh my God. So the point is, retail shrink climbed in absolute dollars, but when reported as a percentage of sales, as it's commonly done, average annual shrink increased to 1.57, up from 1.44 in 2021. The share is largely in line with past years. Average annual shrink was 1.62 of sales before the pandemic in 2019, though it was as low as 1.33 in 2017, according to previous surveys. So average shrink is actually increasing in line with percentages increasing. Okay? I don't know.
That number is bigger, particularly after scenes like what we saw that started last night in Center City, Philly.
This is crazy.
Yeah, this from Center City to North Philadelphia.
You covered that a lot, Lawrence, right?
About a month ago, I was out front of Whole Foods, and they did the same thing. We traveled to San Francisco. It's been the same thing. Seattle, as we reported, New York City. Brian, the interesting thing is that all of these companies have these retail planners, and they've been losing money for a while. But in the age of social justice and wokeness.
Yeah, this wasn't like organized retail theft, wasn't it? I thought this was like straight up a riot. Like the riot happened. Is this the same thing? Is it like in line with the Eddie Irizarry all charges dismissed against Philadelphia officer in fatal traffic stop shooting? I guess maybe not. I guess maybe it wasn't a riot at all. Like, what the fuck? It was not a riot, just people taking advantage. I worked at Rite Aid for 2 years, was told every time when the store was robbed or stolen, please don't worry about the company or products. We back the shrink into our profits each year, as they always tell you your life matters more than a product. They don't care about your life. It's because they don't want the liability of you trying to stop a thief and then getting killed in the process or something. That's it. They don't give a shit about your life. If it was significantly cheaper and there was no like liability whatsoever for the employer, they would tell you have to literally kill the guy or else, you get killed. Anyway, yeah, it's they're doing thefts.
A lot of the activists pressured them to keep the stores open even though they were losing all this money. So they decided.
Like, what fantasy land are we living in? A lot of activists kept pressuring them, like Foot Locker. Man, shut the fuck up. Yeah, dude, activists are hitting up a big Foot Locker CEO and being like, you have to keep operating even though theft is going to keep happening. Oh, these people are so fucking stupid.
There's a backstory to it. There was a demonstration yesterday for a fellow by the name of Eddie Irizarry. who was shot and killed by Philly cops last month. Yesterday in Philly, a judge dismissed all the charges against the officer who killed him and set off a wave of outrage. Now, according to the acting commissioner down there, he says the supporters had nothing to do with the unrest. He said, quote, "What we had was a bunch of criminal opportunists take advantage of a situation and try to destroy our city. It's disgusting," he says. "Our city can't afford this nonsense." And it happened in exactly the same retail corridors as what happened back in 2020 after George Floyd.
So it's unclear how many businesses were hit, but the looters targeted an Apple store, a Lululemon. You saw all the clothes out there littering the sidewalk. A Foot Locker, windows were smashed and merchandise was...
Yeah, woke activists actually hit up Lululemon and we're like, hey, listen, Lulu, we love your fucking tights. You know what I mean? You got to keep doing business in this area. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's only two ways to look at this, okay? You look at Bedlam, okay? You look at situations like this happening and you go, holy fuck, society's on the verge of collapse. We must do something about it. Everyone kind of understands that that is the case here, but only one side looks at that and goes, oh yeah, let's not analyze why this is happening and try to fix it by, solve the underlying material problems, material inequality. The other side goes, no, we have to do more enforcement. Philadelphia sees second night of looting.
In Philadelphia, there's been a second straight night of looting. Stores throughout the city were ransacked last night. Dozens of suspects have
Dude, what the fuck's going on in Philly, though, actually? What's happening in Philly?
been arrested in these robberies. Well, Keisha Bailey from our CBS station.
Good morning, Gail. It's really heartbreaking. Nat's Beauty Supply Store here in Philadelphia is just one of dozens of businesses that's been left in shambles after last night's looting. Now, I did speak with the owner, and she tells me that her business has only been opened for 6 months.
I can't tell, charges dismissed against former Philly cop who killed Eddie Irizarry during traffic stop. So these things have been happening for 2 nights now. I can't tell if it's people are legitimately protesting and then it turns into fucking looting and shit, or I can't tell if it's people taking advantage of the protests, or they're just straight up targeting stores and stuff. Cause I don't really understand. I don't really understand. I don't know if the media is collectively claiming that this is organized crime. They just completely skipped the fucking protest aspect of this. Absolutely zero of the local coverage around this issue has been about the Philly cop who got off after killing Eddie Irizarry. And I can't tell if it's just it's happening at the same time. I can't tell if it's people are just straight up looting stores. I genuinely don't know.
Overnight surveillance video captures the moment a group breaks into this business. In less than 1 minute, they swipe merchandise off the walls and shelves, leaving Nat's Beauty Supply in ruins.
How am I supposed to fix this? What's next? Because I don't know.
Elsewhere in Philadelphia, smashed windows, broken bottles, and shelves wiped clean of merchandise is what remains of this liquor store. Thieves grew even bolder on Wednesday, ripping out what was one.
Yo, they yoinked a fucking drive-through ATM, dog. That's crazy. And it's federally insured, you know what I mean? So, dude, Philadelphia is just a different planet, dude. What the fuck? They're pelting Santa with batteries. They're fucking stealing ATMs. How? What?
Once an ATM at this Wells Fargo bank. The looting rampage began Tuesday night when throngs of mostly young people forced their way into the stores, filling up trash bags with merchandise.
Courts need to make sure these people pay a price for what they did.
So far, police have made 52 arrests. These grab and run.
The cop trying to fucking grab onto anybody, but he's too out of shape.
Crimes have become a familiar scene in many stores across the country. Nationwide, retailers lost 112.
Yeah, so this actually is insane, but this part of it is just propaganda. As we covered extensively yesterday, shrink is not just theft. Okay, so they're fucking wrong about this number. It's 37% of that is actually through external theft. 26% of that is through internal theft, like employees stealing shit. And then the rest of it is just damages, issues in transit, things of that nature.
Hello, I'm sorry. Small addition. I wanted to see if I could break down this number right here because it says including organized retail crime. And so I was like, how much of that is organized retail crime? And so I found this thing from 2019 that says it's 11%. So it's even smaller smaller than what it says here. Lol.
Anytime the media actually fucking says that retail theft is like going nutty with it, they're lying to you. I just want to point that out. I want you to understand that is not a real fucking valid issue. It's not a valid concern. Of course it exists. It always exists. Just because you fucking figured it out just now or just found out about it doesn't change that reality. It's just that people are way more hyper aware of it, and they're cutting propaganda around it. What is this? Organized retail theft bill, an extreme approach to an imaginary problem. An organized retail theft reported to the Chicago police by quarter in comparison to 2003 all the way to 2021. It's up. It went down dramatically during COVID. It went back up, but nowhere near where it was before COVID. It's not a real thing. It's just sometimes I feel like trying to explain to you what is like factually correct by using empirical evidence feels like an impossible thing to do, because the visceral reaction that is supposed to be drawn out of you when you see a bunch of teenagers, especially oftentimes is racialized too, is a bunch of black teenagers running into an Apple store and like stealing a bunch of fucking phones, is going to be infinitely better in terms of propaganda that corresponds to the implicit biases that already are built into your brain than me being like, well, actually that's not true. Like these numbers are false and they're lying to you. They're trying to fucking massage a narrative here, and it sucks. So that's it. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just like I'm 100% correct, and anyone that says that this is like a genuine problem, a real one, it's really fucked up, is 100% incorrect. But regardless, if you don't want this like kind of insane fucking scene to occur, guess what, dude? People that have a lot of money don't do that. People that have a decent wage and a decent meaningful existence are not gonna fucking do that. But we won't offer that to people, and so they will go and steal whatever the fuck they can. Wake the fuck up, samurai. We got a city to burn. I'm so excited. Night City, concrete jungle, where dreams are made of. Yowza!
5 steps back. Now.
Calm down, brother. Trauma team, Platinum Healthcare, beating my ass. Facial scars off, piercings. Damn, you can be bisexual in this game as well. That's crazy. Look at that. I got goosebumps. This is the future liberals want, unironically.